October is officially here. I was wrong. Robin, Ashley, and Rocco were right, as was Forrest. Price remained above $60,000. We are currently trending upwards. Where is the next stop for Bitcoin? We have so much bullish news to share with you today. Also, meme coins. They're not going anywhere, so how are we going to make some money? We're going to talk about that. Which sector should you keep your eye on, or maybe some specific meme coins that we currently have in our portfolio? We're going to reveal those for you guys. Also, we're going to take a look at which cryptocurrencies are overbought, which ones are oversold, and which ones are a good time to buy right now. We have some news on Chainlink. We have news on Ethereum. And we also have top 5 things women are not attracted to. And well, Robin, you might be upset to see one of them. We have that and much, much more in today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content, where we take old, boring, stale information, repackage that whole thing up in a fun and sexy way.
You know, today's the 3-year anniversary of your McRib scandal.
McRib, is it?
Yeah, remember when you had like 6 McRibs and you were eating them?
Yeah.
3-year anniversary. Don't ask me how I know that.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, hope you all had a great weekend. There's a lot to talk about today. You know, just to go back, and I'm a little taken aback at, and you know, Rob and I were talking about this before the show. It's like, is Ashley like some undercover, like, is she an undercover, like, Bitcoin, like, savant? Because 3 out of the last 4 weeks, she's been almost dead on her Bitcoin price prediction. I was at 57,500. Robin was at 64.8. Forrest 67. Rocco 70. And Ashley was at 63,200. Where are we at? 63,700. She was $500 off. So Ashley, if you're watching this, congratulations to you because, well, let me first say, you're not getting a raise, okay? We'll buy you some Capri Suns to celebrate. Capri Suns and a pizza party. Right. I was wrong. I'll admit it. I thought the whole Israel and Iran thing was something was going to happen over the weekend. The only markets that were open for a sell-off was Bitcoin and crypto. I was wrong, which if I was right, I would have happily bought more Bitcoin. But if I'm wrong, which I am, I'm also happy because my portfolio's up. So shout out to Ashley. You were second closest, Robin, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you.
I want to share this video.
I'll just say, just on the thing is, like, even global issues, geopolitical things going on, you can't get away from the simple fact that there's only so much Bitcoin. Whales are accumulating, institutions are buying, ETF is growing. You have company after company coming out and getting exposure to Bitcoin. You have retirement accounts. And so there's just only so much going around. There's only so much being mined. There's only so much on the active markets. And so at some point,
you know what this
can't get away from it.
You know what this reminds me of?
Yep.
This reminds me of 2018 when Trump came in office and the markets panicked when he threatened tariffs on China. S&P sold off. At that moment, Jerome Powell was hiking interest rates. The markets were going down, and then they would rebound. And they'd come out and say, I'm going to put tariffs on this country. And every time he would do that, the markets would move. It would be less volatile because people were used to it. They're saying, okay, we know it's going to bounce back. There's no point in selling off. I think that is what's happening today with the geopolitical issues. We had news over the weekend of the whole thing with Israel and Iran, and they're testing a nuclear thing. And I was looking at price. I was expecting it to go down, but it didn't really go down. And so I think we're seeing that now. What we saw in 2018, and well, we know leading into 2020, we had a very hot market. And then COVID happened and everything crashed and it went back up again. I think we're seeing something similar. So, which is very positive. because these are things you can't control. You can't control if another country is at war with another country or the diplomatic relations are strained or whatever the case may be. People are essentially kind of brushing it off. They're saying, it'll bounce back. I'm not going to sell here. And if we have that, plus all the buying that's happening,
Overcomplicated. It's very simple.
It's not overcomplicated.
Very simple. Not enough Bitcoin going around. Too much buyers, right? It's just a market that has a limited supply, and there's a lot of buyers.
What a great rudimentary explanation, Robin. Wow, really a lot of depth.
Back in 2018, Trump came into office and he put a tariff on this country. Like, bro, just slow down, man. Just zoom out, bro. They're only mining so much Bitcoin, man. 450 Bitcoin a day, down from 900. Michael Saylor keeps buying. Nations are buying. Retirement funds are buying. That's what it is. It's very simple, bro.
Simple. Real simple, guys. Markets are so simple, anyone can trade.
Appreciate it.
Anyway,
I'm just saying that you're gonna get price swings because of headlines. I'm not saying that you don't. But at the end of the day, zoom out, look at the chart, 4-year cycle, post-halving. We had the sell-off back in 2 years ago. FTX collapsed. Cool. We've reset. Now we're rebounding. Cool. There you go.
No.
It's back.
Wow. Thanks for that explanation, Robin.
Yeah.
So much in-depth analysis there from me. We appreciate it, man.
Losing focus here, man.
We're not losing focus.
Focus on
We're
what's
bringing
important. Focus what's important.
That is what's important.
Price go up. Moon boy. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. I want to share, speaking of moon boys, no bigger moon boy, at least for Terra Luna, than Mike Novogratz. Dude got a Luna tattoo.
Got it moved.
Did he get it removed? I don't think he did.
You.
He has to. Anyways, this is Mike Novogratz talking about the next big thing happening to Bitcoin and what it's going to do to the price. Let's take a listen.
What are you hearing as it relates to the ETFs and how big the inroads have been? Obviously, there was a big move afoot when this first happened, but it's quieted down materially since then. And I'm trying to understand what's happened, because I think part of the expectation was that, all these advisors were all of a sudden going to be out there marketing this stuff, and it was going to shift the balance.
That's a slower process than I think the market anticipated, right? Like, a lot of these big platforms are just starting a month ago, starting this month, starting next month. And so I think this will be a, ongoing play over the years, not over the months. And I just think the more different ways you give access, the next big jolt to Bitcoin is going to be when we have options that trade on the ETFs. The SEC said they're coming. I don't know if it's in 3 weeks or a month, but we will have.
And what do you think that jolt is worth?
If you look at MicroStrategy as the one place right now you can get leverage on Bitcoin as a retail investor, it trades at more than 2.3 times the value of the Bitcoin it has, mostly because of the options. It is the single, often most weeks, it's the single largest, option stock in the whole market. And that tells me.
Think about that. In most weeks, it is the single most, valuable or traded option stock in the entire market. Stocks, commodities, mutual fund, everything. And that's what we're getting. And interesting, he brought it back to MicroStrategy, 2.3 times the amount of Bitcoin they hold. That is what MicroStrategy's stock is trading at. So we know that people are putting a premium on Bitcoin and, of course, on the leverage. And there's about 30 seconds left in this video.
Me something that there's a whole bunch of young guys on Robinhood that want to play crypto and want to do it with leverage. And
what do you think happens, by the way, to MicroStrategy if, in fact, that options become available?
We'll see. We'll see. Michael Saylor has got a almost Elon Musk-like hold on a lot of people. They believe in him. It seems to be a stock that's very expensive relative to the Bitcoin it owns, but
Michael Musk, huh? Maybe they're brothers. What are your thoughts on this?
Why are you looking at me all weird, bro?
Just a look, but okay.
So options coming for crypto, obviously just
Bitcoin.
For Bitcoin. Well, for crypto in general, like, you think we'll get options
ETFs.
on? Yeah, of course. So if you have an ETF, a spot product, I think it's just a natural transition. We'll start with Bitcoin first, move over to ETH. Hopefully you get Solana and XRP gets approved. I think that they will get approved. I just don't know if they'll get approved the first time around. I'd like to think they will. I think that the heat
Do you
is
think an
turned on.
ETF is bullish for XRP? Just kidding. We're not going there.
Please, please.
We're not going there.
Please. But more exposure, right? I mean, if people start trading, here's the thing. Like, do you know any traders that don't own crypto?
Yes.
Do you really?
Like regular traders or like crypto?
No, crypto traders.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. So I think that you're going to get people that, so what happens when you trade, right? When you trade, you start understanding the markets, you start understanding good value, you start understanding entry and exit positions. And so think about your average Wall Street person that perhaps doesn't own any Bitcoin, right? Let's just say you got a big net worth trader on Wall Street. He starts trading Bitcoin, right? He starts identifying, hey, this is a good time to enter, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He knows the charts. He's looking at historical data. Don't you think that at some point, this person trading, this whale, this high net worth Wall Street trader, don't you think that they'll say, hey, this is a really good entry point? Maybe not for a trade, but this is a good accumulation spot. And they'll just start buying. I think that's not, and that's if you take all the traders, say the ETF for options goes live, right? And you get 50,000 Wall Street traders, like some big, like 50,000 prominent traders with big bags trading Bitcoin. How many of them are going to start buying Bitcoin because they're seeing an opportunity in the market to get exposure to that asset at a cheap price? Maybe it's not the best trade ever, but they're like, hey, you know what? Bitcoin sold off. It's down to 56,000 or something like that. Just kind of been really plugged into the charts. I know it's a good time to buy. And so out of that percentage of 50,000 traders, maybe 1,000, 2,000 of them just start chunk buying Bitcoin. Or maybe they just do research because they want to know what they're trading. They want to understand the fundamentals. They want to understand the market. So they start doing research on what they're trading, right? And most savvy traders aren't just simply trading the numbers. They're trying to know more about the product, right? If you're going to all of a sudden go trade Tesla stock, you're going to be kind of plugged in what's going on with laws that the government is passing for or incentives or whatever it is, right? You get some kind of the government-backed bonds that are issued to EV companies that incentivize building or whatever it is, tax breaks. Those ultimately end up being bullish for the price of Tesla stock, as an example. And so it's smart for a trader to be plugged into those headlines. And so I think that people are trading Bitcoin are going to naturally do research on Bitcoin. You know what happens. Anybody that does research on Bitcoin starts to realize, shit, I think this is way better of a product than I thought it was.
I think the bigger play here is when you're talking, I used to trade options for a long time. And when you trade options, then I'm not going to go into technicals because some people might get confused, but let's just say I enter into a call option. I believe the price of Bitcoin is going up. And I get in at $63,000. Well, if it goes up to 70 and I decide to sell, the way it works on the back end is, let's say you have one contract, which is 100 shares. 100 shares of the ETF get delivered to you. Now, 99% of people, right, the way you make profit is you take those and you sell them back and you make the difference. Bought it at 63, I can sell them now at 70. I pocket the difference. But what you can also do is hold on to those stocks. So if I have a call option on Tesla at $200, and it goes up to $300 and I have one contract at 100 shares and I'm delivered 100 shares of Tesla that I originally got in at $200. Now I'm sitting on 100 shares I bought for $200 that are worth $300 a piece, right? And so naturally you sell them to make profit, but some people have the option of keeping those shares that they got in at 200 if they believe the price is
all
going to go
people
up.
have the option, but most people don't exercise it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But here's the thing. Like, I'm not that experienced in trading, but I did a little bit of trading on stocks as well. And I'll tell you, like the ones that I bought, I ended up doing a lot of. I remember I bought Rivian stock, the electric car company. I knew more about that than I did Tesla, and that was just because I was trading it. And so I was like, hey, this is, and that's where I'm kind of getting at. And anybody that does research on Bitcoin eventually comes around to being like, this is a way better.
Robin, believe it or not, some of the most successful traders that I personally have known, they focus on one stock. Like my buddy Sheldon, Microsoft. He would just buy, sell Microsoft, option contract, put contracts, call contracts. One stock, and he'd make a lot of money. He knew everything about that stock. He knew when their quarter earnings report came out. He knew what their P2E was. He knew what their EBITDA was. He knew where all their earnings calls were. He knew everything about the company. And he was able to trade those news events and make money. How many people are we going to get like that in the crypto and Bitcoin space? And to Robin's point, it's just the natural evolution of someone who's making money and trading in the market. Speaking of big money, look at this chart. New whales are accumulating massive amounts of Bitcoin. Robin, I present to you figure A. We have in orange, old whales, and in pink, new whales. Look at the amount of money, as far as balances, that new whales have accumulated since the beginning of 2024. It has just been an absolute vertical up and to the right move. And so I know you're watching, you're like, well, why isn't the price going up?
It is.
It is going up, but maybe not as fast as you'd like it to. Mark Yusko, in our exclusive interview for our almanac, literally laid out step by step exactly what is happening, why prices chopped, and what he looks forward to in the next 6 months. The most intricate explanation of the last 9 months of price action that I've ever heard. And so that'll be going into the almanac, and each person that purchases an almanac will get a code to listen to the entire video interview. It was really, really good. So super excited for you guys to see that. But whales are accumulating. You also have this from the UAE. They're eliminating all taxes on crypto transactions. And so we're seeing this trend globally, maybe not here in the US as much as we're seeing overseas. China unbanning. Hong Kong has become a hub. The Middle East is becoming a hub. UAE, Dubai, Singapore.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just not.
The UAE eliminating taxes is pretty damn bullish, right? Now
on crypto transactions.
Yeah.
Buddy.
So
you want to let me explain. Maybe to some people this is kind of like, okay, well, what's the big deal? Let me put it to you this way. Option A, I transact in fiat and I pay taxes. Option B, I transact in crypto and pay no taxes.
Well, that's kind of the baseline of money, right? And so what they're saying is that crypto's money, right? Because if I were to send you $100, there's no taxes on it, right? If I send you $100 via a wire transfer or via a bank transfer, Zelle, whatever you want to call it, Cash App, there's no tax there, right? But if I were to send you crypto, then that it could technically be a taxable event.
Robin, I'm also thinking about, let's say I want to go buy a cup of coffee at a Starbucks or McDonald's that takes crypto. I can now not have to pay taxes on that transaction.
I still think you're paying sales taxes. I just think that the underlying movement of the currency doesn't involve a tax implication.
And they're using crypto as
I think it's the same. Like I can send you cash, but if I go spend my cash, I still got to pay sales tax. You know what I mean? That's part of the purchase.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked at this breakdown.
No, what you're saying makes total sense.
But I would just say this. I think a lot of this time, this tends to be headline events, and then eventually they realize, like, hey, we should be taxing this. Portugal's a really good example. Portugal had tax-free exemptions for crypto, but then they ended up scratching that, and then they ended up taxing afterwards. Very, very friendly for crypto and taxes still in Portugal. But at one time, a couple years ago, it was basically 100% no taxes on any crypto investments you have, buy, sell, send, whatever it is. And then later on, they started taxing. So, will you find a situation where the UAE goes tax-free, but then kind of starts taxing it on the back end? Because here's the thing, man. What happens is, like in Portugal, for example, you had a ton of crypto native people moving to Portugal to circumvent taxes. And then all of a sudden, Portugal's like, hey, we got a lot of damn people here for crypto.
Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. And so will we see the same thing in the UAE? Will you see a ton of people globally setting up? And you don't want to tax the individuals, right? You don't want to tax the people living there in the house. That's not really the ideal way going about it. But what ends up being problemsome is if all of a sudden you get 40, 50 companies setting up exchanges all operating billions of dollars without paying a single dollar in tax. That's where it ends up being a conflict of interest. They're not really there to tax the individual investor, but big companies, all of a sudden you're like, man, this giant company is here, but they're not paying any taxes. So, I mean, I don't know. I like to see how long it lasts. I think as big as crypto is, you can't really go eternity without taxing it because there's just so much money there, right?
Yeah.
But UAE's got a lot of money anyways. They're a very successful economy, and they're growing. They're catching up to the U.S.
Very
and
successful
China.
oil reserves.
Yeah, and so, I wouldn't be surprised to see them say, hey, we'll just take an L on collecting taxes from crypto for the time
Let's get
being.
people here.
But yeah, let's get people here. We're already making, headwind in the financial sector and in our economy and global commerce and trade. We don't need the crypto taxes to get by. Let's just bring people in and be the tech hub of the world. Because I think, a lot of tech companies are moving from the U.S. and other areas and going to places like UAE and Singapore. And I think that's because they're a little bit more friendly to corporations and they have more friendly taxes, right? I mean, would you open up a company in California now
Hell
with
no.
50% tax?
Hell no.
50% tax, man. You factor in state plus federal for corporations in California, you're over 50%. And there are some extremes for certain businesses where they're over 60% taxes.
No, thank you.
And so, I mean, it's hard to operate. And the thing is I know a lot of companies find ways around paying taxes. And, they have a slew of lawyers. So don't fool yourself. Not every company in California is paying that tax, through donations, offshore accounts. You can have your trademark. You have a trademark in an offshore company, and then all of a sudden the parent company, like Nike's really good at that, right? Nike has, I think their parent company. So the parent company is in Europe, and then their trademark office is in
Seattle.
No. It's in one of the island nations. I forget which one it is.
Costa Rica, Dominican Republic.
One of the where was FTX headquartered at?
Bahamas.
Yeah, it was like the Bahamas. I believe it's the Bahamas. Anyways, so the parent company pays like 80% of its revenue as profits to the parent company for its license, for the trademark and license.
So they offset the tax.
Yeah, and then
smart.
so that's just one example. So taxes get pretty complex, and companies are pretty smart at getting around them.
Before I show this, Rocco, don't pull it up yet. If you are single and you are on the market, look away. Look away from your TV. I got some bad news.
What's up?
Although being smart and not paying taxes might be an attractive thing for a woman, what are some of the top 5 non-attractive hobbies of males? Playing video games, Robin. Collecting figurines, Robin. Crypto is number 3, Robin. Online trolling, definitely, Robin. And gambling, I don't know. You trade meme coins. That's probably gambling.
I literally almost
you're
lost my house, but I don't gamble anymore. That's in my past.
You are SOL, my friend. And I talk about salon.
Yeah, I am toast. You know what?
Are you excited for the AI girlfriend?
I'll say this. Okay, I think, in all honesty, these things that are listed out here is just like anything else in the world. With moderation is actually a positive, right? I think playing video games stimulates, their creative side. Some of the smartest individuals, Elon Musk
Doesn't
plays
If you're
stimulate
making a
your
pick for
girlfriend.
yourself, we don't have a lot of women watching.
and then also, collecting figurines. That's
okay. You can stop there.
That's cool. And then crypto, just everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Even gambling, for example. Like, ain't nothing wrong coming to Vegas, putting $20 in a slot machine, but when the problem ends up being is when it ends up taking over your life, becomes obsessive, you do too much of it. No girl wants to play some dude, wants to
Thank God I got married,
date some dude. No girl wants to date some dude that spends 6 hours a day playing video games. Let's be real. Just date yourself or date your online girlfriend, whatever it is. And then crypto, I will say though, that's the one exception. Go all in on crypto. Nothing else financial.
What if it was the other way around? The girlfriend is playing the video game, collecting figurine. And crypto.
Is she able to multitask while playing video games? I think that's the important question there. You know what I'm saying?
That's bad.
Anyways, before we move forward, I want to give a big thank
Can
you.
we do a top 5 list for women? Things that don't find women that I don't want in women. Number 1 is stop hating on crypto. Number 2, telling me that crypto's not real. Crypto's not real. Like,
Number 3, telling me make your own sandwich.
yeah.
You know,
Number 3 is, babe, what do you want for lunch? I don't know. You decide. You pick. I didn't want to eat this. I'm like,
or I'm not hungry. Okay, I didn't get you anything. You didn't get me anything. Anyways, I want to give a big thank you to today's channel sponsor. Today's show is possible and brought to you by CAMS, Blue Wire Technology. If you run a business and you want to maximize your networking, your IT, your cybersecurity, you got to call CAMS. These guys will absolutely take care of you. They'll make sure everything is intact and protect you from potential malware, ransomware, and other attacks on your network. We had an issue with this about a couple weeks ago. And I am telling you from personal experience, I know they're our channel sponsor, but from personal experience, without that team, we both, and maybe even our business, would be completely screwed. So big shout out to CAMS. Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Quick outlook on key events this week from the Kobe AC letter. Tuesday, the short-term energy outlook is coming out. Fed meeting minutes on Wednesday. This is an important one. CPI data comes out on Thursday. Should see a little bit of volatility around this date. Jobless claims on Thursday. PPI information, and a total of 18 Fed speakers this week, which we know that a lot of people listen to and react and make decisions based off of. So that's pretty interesting. With that being said, I'm going to throw it over to Robin. Let's take a look at the market.
all right. So 63,300 and 63.4, right where Ashley said we were going to be. Quite on the money there. That's interesting. But take a look at the 1 week. And so we're right back where we were a week ago. So Monday last week, we started right here. Question is this a short-term pump, or will we pull back down just like we did going into Tuesday next week? So I'm very curious to see from a weekend from last week to this week, will the chart repeat itself, or are we on our way to 65,000? You know, I have more of a feeling that we're on our way to 65,000. What do you think, man? You think?
I mean, you know, I like to keep things simple, right? And I'm looking at this liquidity flow index here, and we just had a crossover. We just crossed over our midline on our sentiment, and I've talked about this plenty of times. Anytime we cross above the midline, price rallies, and it's a sustained rally. And every time we cross below, it's the opposite. And we just crossed above it. Money flow has turned green. Super simple, right? Keep it simple, stupid. We're currently at 63,300. We need to take out this high of 65.8. Call it $66,000. We take out that high, we have a new uptrend intact, right? Because we put in higher highs and higher lows, right? This is our last low. This was back on September 6th. And I will use my paintbrush to draw for you guys. Where's my paintbrush? There it is. So we had this low here. Came back, took out this high with this price, right? Higher low, higher high compared to this. And we put in a higher low. Now, the completion of this would be to close a higher high above this 66,700. We'll call it 66K flat. So that is a level we need to go at. And what I'm seeing right now is that we are going to do that. So 66.8, I do think we get around that 68K level. If we go out and throw on our volume range, you can see this is a massive volume node here, right? Right around that 63.2 level. We can see, obviously, right now we're having more buying or more selling than buying because that is moving the price down. But once we break above this, we really don't have a stop until that 67.5 level, right? We see that next big volume node coming in. And so this to me is a very bullish Bitcoin chart. I'm bullish on BTC.
All right. Well, I'm also bullish on altcoins. The meme coins have absolutely exploded. So if you take a look at the top gainers here, and it's just completely dominated in meme coins. You got first Nero. I'm not too familiar with this one. Are you familiar with this?
Negative.
Negative. So you got cat in the dog's world, Mog coin, but you also got Dog with Hat, Brett Up, and so the meme coins are kind of leading the charge. I would expect. This isn't the first time we've seen this. Bitcoin starts to move upwards. Memes go first, and then you get the major layer ones to follow. And so my question here is, which one of the altcoins, the layer ones, are going to be the ones that outperform the rest of the market? And I got my eye on none other than our favorites here. And so I think Solana's still going to take a back seat to some of the other layer ones here. So I'm kind of fading Solana on the biggest gainers out of the layer ones. Not anything against Solana. I think that the ecosystem is moving that direction, but ran pretty hot and heavy early in this bull market cycle. And so I think that you're going to give a chance for some of these other layer ones to catch up, particularly keeping a close eye on Cardano, which is back around 35 cents. I think this is a great entry point. Remind you, it was at 70 cents, or 2x away from where it is now back in February. So could we see another 70-cent Cardano? I think that is around the corner. I'm very curious to see what the short-term price action will be for this. Also, Chainlink, an absolute steal right now at $11. I think that we could be looking at this $40, $50 Chainlink come early next year. So I think that we're going to see this big run up. Chainlink has been kind of asleep at the wheel this bull market. If you take a look at the 1-year chart, hasn't really done much. I mean, it did start at kind of that depths of the bear market at $7. It's only at $11 from that point. And so even back in February where everything was rallying, you had briefly a $20 Chainlink. I think that $20 is just going to be a quick stop on its way to new all-time highs. Putting it around $50 is kind of my target or range there. I think a big psychological number at 50. So I might be a little hesitant on like expecting the $50, but 47, 44, $48. I think that is, something as you get closer to that target range, something that I'm looking at. Also some other layer ones, obviously big fans of Near Protocol, up almost 8% today. We had a Near video drop last week. Really, really bullish on Near, their ecosystem, how easy it is to use the Near ecosystem, get in and out of from one chain to another. I know David can give you a full breakdown on all the things that Near is trying to accomplish. We got plenty of videos on all things Near, lots of discussion with the biggest names in the Near ecosystem as well, as far as some of our previous interviews. And then can't ignore it. You got ICP and Caspa. That's our channel favorites here. Both of them have yet to launch this little pump we've had here. ICP is down 8%. Caspa's down 11%. I'm looking at the Caspa price at 14 cents. I think this might be the best entry position that we'll have in the next 3 months on Caspa right now. I don't think we're going to see 12-cent Caspa. I don't think the price is going to go any further down. And the fact that Bitcoin is teetering around the 64,000 and Caspa is at the price that it is at, if you've been looking to accumulate Caspa, if you've been kicking yourself in the ass for not getting any Caspa yet, I think that this is the absolute floor for Caspa's entry. And, the same can kind of be said for ICP. But I really think that if I'm putting ICP against Caspa, I think that Caspa is just so undervalued for where it's going to be. ICP is also extremely lucrative buy for me right now at this $8. But I mean, Caspa, I can't fade it right now. I mean, what do you think about?
I like them both, but I think if you want to talk about being undervalued, I think ICP is the most undervalued crypto project in space.
Really? I think when it comes to technicals, functionality, what they're doing, roadmap, everything that ICP is trying to tackle, I think ICP is extremely undervalued. But when I look at Caspa, I just look at the community, the kind of the trajectory that they've had, price action, And I don't know, man. I feel like the retail on Caspa is a little bit more frothy than ICP, right? Very bullish on ICP. You know, we're just kind of comparing like our two favorite kids here or something. You like them both, but one of them right now, is about to sign that scholarship.
Everyone's got a favorite.
One of them's about to sign that scholarship, go to college. You're like, man, you know what? There's a lot of hype on this one. The other one's taking the long road of going to college to be a lawyer or something.
Gender studies.
Yeah, like one's all flashy, like going to college on a full scholarship, and then the other one's going to the long road, for a trade school, like trying to be a lawyer or doctor or something like that. I think that's ICP. I think that they just have all the solid fundamentals you'd want, and CASP was just like I wouldn't be surprised for a massive explosion.
I want to go back. You mentioned meme coins were pumping, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna show this headline here. So meme coin season is back. Okay, it's a lot of meme coins to choose from. Do you have any insight on which ones? Here, I'll go first. I there's a sector of meme coins that I'm interested in now, and it's the political side of it. And if you've been watching our channel, you're up a shitload of money on this one. This is a Trump token, right? This thing got down to $2, even sub $2. But I know myself, I got in around 10 cents. I know a few people personally from our community, even personal friends, that got in at 15, 20 cents. So you're already making a lot of money. But I think 30 days out from the election, less than 30 days out from the election, I think political meme coins are where to kind of focus on. Now, maybe this Trump coin, you're like, it's already at a 200 million market cap. There's only let's just say you think it's going to go to $1 billion. There's only a 4 or 5x left. To me, it's not worth it. I get it. Fine. Let me give you another example. There was the dog or the pet of, I think, J.D. Vance. That token, after his vice presidential debate, went up like 3,000%. So I think we're seeing a lot of money that as the election heats up, media coverage is going to continue. It's going to broaden. The specific thing with the Trump coin, though, is the people in their ecosystem, the people that they partnered with, have direct ties to Donald Trump. We also know that Donald Trump's largest crypto holding is this very token. So at a $200 million market cap, 30 days prior to the election, I still think this thing has a lot of room to run. Also, another one that I want to keep my eye on is the Ton ecosystem, and one specifically is dogs. Okay, this is remember when Toncoin had those issues with the network? It was pretty much because of this. The dogs meme coin, it is on the Toncoin network. Take a look at the last month chart. It is down. Go look at the 1 year. It is down, but I think
You think this one's going to reverse?
I think this one's going to reverse, yeah. I do. And so that's the other one I'm looking at. And also just the Toncoin ecosystem as a whole. Another one to keep an eye on. And Robin, you when you showed the top gainers, I saw Sui is in the top 20 now.
Yeah, I see that.
Look for a meta play on Sui. Now, Sui, the token itself, you look at the 1 week, is very oversold. You can see here. It is the most oversold coin on the RSI on the week. You go zoom out to the 24-hour, it is the second most overbought. Not oversold, excuse me, overbought. Typically, when things are overbought, you want to sell, right? And so maybe not jump into Sui, but maybe a meta play on Sui is a meme coin. So look out for some of the top meme coins on Sui. So those are kind of my meme coin plays to be able to make money. Do you have any that you're kind of keeping your eye on?
I still, I talked about it last week. Still pretty bullish on that Moodang, and most of these meme coins that are in the top 100, a lot of them had that kind of initial pump when they first get released, and then they kind of had the sell off, which I think is very indicative of all the successful ones, but it's also indicative of the failures. You get the pump and then it sells off, never bounces back. So I mean, which road will it take is kind of the question that kind of the crossroads I'm at. Is this thing just going to sell off and essentially just never get back to that 20 or 30 cents where it briefly was at? Perhaps, but I think that because of the memes kind of the damn thing's really popular, man. The Mudang, the actual meme, the actual hippo or that we see all over social media. So I think that this one has a big potential. I don't have a lot of exposure to it. Like I said last week, I put $1,500 to it. So I mean, for me, that's just kind of a little flyer for me. So still pretty bullish on it. So yeah, maybe I'll throw another couple $100 at it. I don't know. I wouldn't put too much faith in it. But if you're looking for a long shot play outside the top 300, I think Mudang might be a good one to take a small little allocation.
Here's the interesting thing for me is we now found out that Vitalik was sent around 10 billion tokens that he sold all of it, donated to charity, which, to be fair, he said he would do that. Said, hey, if you send me meme coins, I will sell them and donate them to charity, which is what they did. And so we can point to a reason to say, okay, price is down because of that. If you don't think that meme is going away or the popularity is going away, obviously super high risk, but off a 70% drawdown.
I wanted to cover something that just kind of a couple of things that broke. So one, I got BlackRock.
I was going to show that video. Go ahead.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Okay.
No,
cool.
I was going to, but go ahead.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll just drop this here real quick.
Head of thematic investing at BlackRock, I really spend a lot of my time thinking about the future and some of the disruptive changes that are impacting the world and society and the economy and our portfolios around us. Oftentimes, this is about disruptive technologies. Oftentimes, it's about societal changes. But what we found with blockchain and digital assets is that in some ways, this is one of the fastest growing technologies we've seen in the last few years. On the right-hand side of the chart, you can see our adoption curve. This is just looking at how quickly certain assets are adopted by a society. And you can see that blockchain and digital assets are being adopted faster than major revolutions before it, whether that's the internet or whether that's cell phones. And there's a couple of reasons for this. The first reason is just we're living in a more digital economy than ever before. If we're consuming things online, streaming videos, playing video games, buying digital content, it makes sense to have digitally native assets to conduct those transactions, particularly when there's, secondly, and importantly, in a year like this year, where over half the world's population is voting for new leadership, not just the elections in the United States, in Mexico, in India, and the European Union, we're seeing more geopolitical risk than before, and in fact, declining trust in institutions, whether that's trust in government institutions for maintaining peace and order, whether that's trust in central banks in terms of keeping inflation under control. More distrust has exacerbated the need for a global monetary alternative. The third we're seeing is demographic changes, the rise of the millennial and Gen Z generation. Millennials, at least in the United States, are set to inherit trillions of dollars, are entering peak earnings years in their work, and are increasingly playing an important role in the economy. And millennials are very different from previous generations because we, were the first generation to be digitally native, growing up with the internet, growing up with computers. We understand digital better than previous generations. And that means we're more likely to adopt digital currencies.
Yeah, no more is the time of checkbooks, right? I remember my first job at a grocery store, and I remember they had the check scanner, and they run the check back and forth. I mean, you can't pay groceries at a check now, right? And so
I've seen it once in the last 5 years.
Yes, it's not even, it's outdated technology. And so obviously, what they're alluding to here is that it's an obvious shift to the digital age. And you know what? Baby boomers are all retiring. Sure, they got their retirement accounts, but all this new money coming in, we know.
I want to note.
There's another minute here, but go ahead.
I want to note that the person speaking in this video is not the head of digital assets at BlackRock. He is the head of active ETFs, all ETFs. Go ahead. Yeah.
And then finally, what I think has been really important to BlackRock in our journey in the digital asset space has been the maturing of infrastructure in digital assets. We've seen billions of dollars move in venture capital and private equity into digital assets to fund incredible innovation in blockchain. We've seen the regulatory environment evolve to get more constructive around digital assets and how people can buy them. We've seen extremely talented people leave traditional finance to go into DeFi to help lead some of these innovations. And all of this infrastructure has really matured over the last 5 years. So between all of these tailwinds, it's really creating the opportunity for digital assets to gain broader adoption across more investors around the world. With that being said, we're in the early days. 2.9 trillion, it changes every day. Maybe it's slightly higher or slightly lower since we made this slide. But we could have focused thus far our efforts on 2 digital assets, the 2 largest. We feel that between these 2 assets, which represent about 75% of the market cap of the digital asset space, and have some of the most liquidity in the digital asset space, that we can really start to make headway in terms of bringing out accessible vehicles to more investors. Now, what I'm going to talk about.
Which is interesting is they blurred out Ethereum here on this video.
I didn't notice that.
See this? And so, yeah, probably Bitcoin Maxis here promoting that one. Then one last headline here as well. MetaPlanet this morning has bought another 108 Bitcoin. So
This is the MicroStrategy of Japan.
Yeah. So when you hear someone speaking about institutional adoption, smart money is transitioning there, building infrastructure. Look no further than what the largest companies globally are doing, and they're getting exposure to Bitcoin. So pretty bullish there on that. So.
Interesting. I see Bitcoin's drawing down a little bit, and I'm trying to see if there's any news that maybe broke. The only thing I saw was the American water something was hacked, which is the largest water preservation something here. I'll try to find it.
Yeah, 62.7. So wonder what's going on with Bitcoin. We're keeping a close eye. Bitcoin is failing. It is broken.
Stop it.
Just kidding. So yeah, just a little pullback. So from 63.6 this morning to 62.7. Kind of interesting. Yeah, we're taking a peek to see if any kind of news broke here, but yeah.
Right here. Hackers breach American waterworks system targeting 14 million customers. I don't know. The markets react to. Yeah.
I doubt that's.
Yeah, I doubt it too. But I'm just like, okay, well, what has happened over the last 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's just the market moving. With that said, I do want to remind, I was talking to somebody this morning about Las Vegas and the upcoming Bitcoin convention coming to Las Vegas in May of this next coming year. And we are really excited to host the Bitcoin convention. Las Vegas does conventions the best, right? We're known as the convention capital of the world. Obviously, we're entertainment focused as well, but we're excited to host this thing. And in the description of this video, we got tickets on discount. If you click the link, use OLA as the discount code. You get 10% off your tickets. It helps the channel. It helps support the channel, helps support content like this. But more importantly, we really, really are excited for this convention to be here in Las Vegas. We want all of you to come hang out with us. And I'll tell you what, we have contact information for everyone that does buy a ticket. And so we want to invite you to come hang out with us. We're going to host some parties, some events, some meetups, some dinners. We're renting a space, like a big mansion, basically, where we're gonna host some events as well. So if you want to come to Las Vegas, if you haven't even planned to come to Las Vegas, what a great excuse to come hang out with us, Sin City Crypto. And so please get a ticket. Come hang out with us. Let us know if you buy a ticket, so that way we can give you a personal shout out as well. We know Jimmy just bought 2 industry passes like 2 weeks ago. Also Destroyer. We have I think we've had like 15 different people buy tickets from us. So really excited for that. And so, yeah, come support the channel. Come hang out with us in Las Vegas. Come support Vegas.
Also support the channel by subscribing. Speaking of supporters, big thank you again to Cam's Blue Wire Technology. You want to learn how they can help your business scale and grow? Visit BlueWireTech.com. If you're an ICP fan, we have our ICP video dropping in about 1 hour. Interesting chart on the ICP versus Bitcoin.
Dude, I was over there. You were doing your video, and I was watching, and I was actively opening up my Coinbase app, and I'm like, buy. So
interesting replay.
You sold me, bro.
Something that
You sold
happened
me.
last year, and so you want to
sold
watch
me.
the video. It's going to be really good.
And not to mention, man, we're just bullish on ICP. I know we got a lot of ICP community here watching, and so a lot of new updates. So make sure you don't miss that one.
Yeah. And with that being said, Rocco.
Thank you, Rocco. Appreciate that. That was great timing. Appreciate you.
Gotta wait for the spin, dude.
I mean,
Are you
it's
seeing it?
hurricane
What are you
season. You
talking
can't
about?
spin right now. Too soon.
Sin City, crypto.
That's
Everybody
it?
know we here for.
Don't say anything
Entertainment and
else?
info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day
I miss
stay
Rocco.
tapped in. Big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.